Hello students, I am your course coordinator Dr. Navjot Kaur. Welcome to today's module on searching, collection and seizure of suspected computer and other digital evidences. Dear students, with the advent of information and communication technology, more and more crimes have been committed using computer, due to which the field of computer forensic investigation is also getting bigger and bigger. Computer forensic, which is a branch of digital forensic science pertaining to the evidence found in computers and digital storage media. The goal of computer forensic is to examine digital media in a forensically sound manner with the aim of identifying, preserving, recovering, analyzing and presenting facts and opinions about the digital information in the court of law. Or you can say it is the science of finding evidence from the digital media like a computer, mobile phone, SIM cards, memory cards, servers or networks. Since whole of the evaluation is based on the investigation of digital evidences, so a thorough searching and identification of digital evidences should be carried out at the scene of occurrence. Dear student, there is a very famous quote in forensic science, which is based on various evidences which are present at the scene of occurrence, called as physical evidences. It states that physical evidences cannot be imitated. It does not forget. It sits there and waits to be detected, preserved, evaluated and explained. Means you cannot threaten the physical evidences. Sometime an offender commits a crime and forgets his wrongdoing. But these physical evidences do not forget that a crime has occurred. They silently wait at the scene of occurrence until they are detected, preserved, analyzed and presented in the court of law so that a culprit can be punished. Same is true for the digital evidences which need to be found and analyzed properly. The principle behind the seizure of computer evidences is that they are extremely fragile, inconsistent and manipulative in nature. This situation is complicated by the fact that the exact source of the evidences is not traceable. This situation is worse because such crimes are committed on the internet and the evidence has to be retrieved from other territorial boundary and adhering to different legal jurisdictions, so need a crucial assessment, identification before the seizure. Because of its fragile nature, the first and most important step in dealing with computer evidence involves a preservation of digital evidences. Failure to do so may render it unworkable or lead to wrong conclusions. For this reason, it is critical to establish and follow strict guidelines and procedure for the activities related to computer forensic investigations. Protocols to be followed at the scene of crime. Because of its volatility and fragility, protocol needs to be followed to ensure that there is maximum chances of retrieval of evidences and data is not mishandled during its handling. At any stage, there should be no modification during the access, at the time of collection, at the time of packaging, at the time of transportation and not even during the storage. There is 4 phases involved in the initial handling of digital evidences, that is identification, collection, seizure or acquisition and preservation. But before approaching a crime scene, there are some preconditions which are very important, like the investigator should have vast experience in handling such cases, handling manpower and media. The investigation should be well aware of the caliber of his team members, including photographer, sketcher. All the team members should also be well versed with their field. A detailed study of case should be carried out by the investigating officer. They should carry basic software and hardware tools required at the scene of crime, starting with the basic requirement like securing tapes, screwdrivers, measuring tapes, torch, safety kits, markers, logs. They should also have various software tools like disk and data capture tools, file viewers, file analysis tools, registry analysis tools, internet analysis tools, email analysis tools, mobile device analysis tools, etc. A comprehensive approach should be planned and priority has to be decided. After fulfilling these preconditions, next step is approaching the crime scene. And like another crime scene, the first step to be followed after reaching the crime scene is to secure the crime scene. As computer and related evidences can easily be manipulated or even destroyed by the skilled offenders, so the first and the most important step in dealing with computer crime involves the preservation of electronic crime scene. So after a crime scene has been discovered, measures must be taken to secure and protect the scene from miscreants, contaminants. To maintain the integrity of the crime, law enforcement must take action to block off the surroundings as well as keep a track who comes in and who goes out. Then, initial preliminary survey and determination of the boundary should be done. Evaluation of general condition of the site like the state of crime scene, indoor, outdoor, mobile, temperature condition, presence of any odor, chemical, etc. should be ascertained. Photography of the scene and of the evidences is one of the first procedure performed at the scene. This generally occurs after the note-taking process has begun. Photography is always important to preserve the crime scene, so take the photographs of the crime scene in relation to the items of the evidence. Video recording of all the components would also be very helpful. Record the statement of eyewitnesses, if any. Clarify time and the date of the incidents. Prepare all the notes with the narrative description. Prepare diagram sketch of the scene. Secure any relevant media such as hard drive, laptop, PDAs, cell phones, CD-ROMs, DVDs, USB drives, and MP3 players. They all are sensitive to heat, humidity, magnetic field. So all measures should be taken to protect the digital evidences from such conditions. Label them and prepare a proper log of all the items present at the scene. Other on-site considerations are as follows. Any individual attending the computer should be immediately removed from the area because his one movement, like pressing the keyboard, can potentially destroy all the evidences. Rapid planning is very important, and this is especially true if the probability of destructive process is there. Take quick decisions. If system is on, care should be taken in shutting down the system, and then a decision should be made whether or not the computer should be unplugged from the wall or shut down systematically. Your decision would depend on your experience in dealing with such crime scenes. Then there should be evidence assessment, as there are numerous crime scenes which require computer forensic investigation, like unauthorized access, financial fraud, property theft, forgery, online drug trafficking, child pornography. Since every case has its own evidence, so the investigator should assess the value of potential evidences during the investigation. So prior to conducting an investigation, the investigation must define the type of evidence sought and should have a clear understanding of how to present relevant data. Then interview the system administrator and the user, but don't react as per his advice, as he may mislead the investigation. Try to recover any password, pattern or encryption key if required to open a file, window screen or to open a mobile phone screen. Document the location from which the media has been removed. Determine the operating system in question. If all at possible, avoid running any program on the subject computer. Doing so can create temporary files that may override the valuable evidence. Do not turn the computer off or on. Run any program or attempt access data on the computer. When it comes to the computer evidence, don't operate a suspect computer until a complete backup has been made. Normal computer backups won't do a full bit stream backup is necessary. Since we cannot work on original evidence, because if something goes wrong during the analysis, you may lose the evidence. So once computer evidence has been destroyed or altered, it is unlikely that it can ever be reconstructed. So it is always advisable to take a backup to avoid future complications. Document internal storage devices and hardware configurations, drive conditions, configuration of internal components like sound card, video cards, network card, including media access control, that is the MAC address. Make sure that the computer is switched off. Some screensaver may give the appearance that the computer is switched off, but hard drive and the monitor activity lights may indicate that the machine is switched on. Remove all other connection cables leading from the computer to the other wall or floor sockets or devices. Remove the battery of laptop computers. Disconnect the modem if attached. If system is switched on, go for live forensics using different tools, most importantly memory imaging tools, which contain all the important information and program being run at a given time. Sometimes you may encounter software or hardware which is specially written or designed for some specific purpose. Therefore, assistance of someone proficient in operation of software and hardware is required, or the assistance of technical expert can be taken. Next step after securing and the preliminary search is identification of the evidence. As mentioned, it is very hard to identify the real evidence in the computer crimes because you may encounter digital evidence of any size, shape and complexity. Most of the time it looks like the electronic junk. Then how to identify the evidence of our interest? Because it is not feasible to seize all the trash. But on the other hand, you never know the importance of any evidence because sometimes a sparse looking article could be of utmost importance. Then identify the number and type of the computer present at the scene of occurrence. Determine if network is present. If yes, identify off-site storage areas and the remote computing locations. Identify storage devices that need to be acquired. These devices can be internal, external or both. Identify any proprietary software present. Then where to search the computer related evidences. You may find it in the desktop, in the monitor, in the wallet, in the pocket of the culprit, in personal diary where desktop contains a lot of paperwork, bills, media files, MMS messages. Conventional evidences like fingerprints, sweat, saliva can be found on the keyboard, small container, cup and saucer, cigarette butts, regular files or the personal diaries surrounding the system. If examined properly, these may be of very useful evidence. It is important to remember that the other forensic disciplines might be able to recover other evidences such as fingerprint on the hard drive, hair or the fiber in the keyboard, and the handwritten disk labels or printed materials. In these instances, procedures should be developed to determine the order and manner in which the examination should be performed. Then computer monitor are popular place to stick notes which are important in locating users' system passwords. To preserve the image on the screen, a quick photograph of the screen display may be appropriate. The wallet may find any visiting card, identity card, credit card, driving license, bills or other related evidences. The pocket can be searched for the flash drive which may be containing the crucial evidences. Do not neglect the trash, printed reports, correspondence, spreadsheet, password, hacking notes, which may be discarded in the dustbin. Next step is collection of identified evidences. Try to collect maximum evidences because computer technology changes so quickly. It may be impossible to obtain similar or outdated hardware. or instruction manual from the other sources. All the networking components including connectors, cables, modem, routers should also be collected, labeled properly. Printers, tape drives, optical drives, hardware and software manual should not be left behind. There are protocols for collecting volatile evidences. Volatile evidences should be collected based on the order of volatility. That is, the most volatile evidence should be collected first and the least volatile should be collected at the last. There are various types of the standard practices which direct about the order of the collection of volatile data. Like there are registers, cache, routing tables, process table, kernel statistics, memory, temporary file systems, disks, remote logging and monitoring data that is relevant to the system in question. Physical configuration, network topology and archival media. One of the big problems with the collecting digital evidences is the issue of not being able to keep it secure from incoming communication at the point of capture. To avoid this, pack the digital evidence in Faraday bags. Next step is evidence acquisition or seizure. The laws with regard to seizure of computer evidence are becoming more complex. Law enforcement officials normally seize computer during the execution of search warrant. Depending on the circumstances and scope of the search and the warrant involved, all computer hardware, software and manuals should be taken for evaluation as potential evidence. Take photographs and mark them. Tag the items with the location from where they have been seized, which would help in reassembling the equipment for the examination. Take all the manuals, cables and components that relates to the seized items. Right protection should be initiated. To preserve and protect original evidence, it is utmost important to prior the acquiring the evidence as it will ensure the integrity of evidence. Perhaps the most critical facet of the successful computing forensic investigation is the rigorous, detailed plan for acquiring evidence. So, extensive documentation is needed prior to the seizure, during the seizure, or after the acquisition process. Detailed information must be recorded and preserved, including all the hardware, software specification, any system used in investigation process, and the system being investigated. The acquisition should be purposeful and legal. Examination is best conducted on the copy of original evidence. The original evidence should be acquired in the manner that protects and preserves the integrity of evidence. It is advisable to consult legal counsel before taking any step to seize the special cases like the cases related with the corporate computers. After seizure of the evidence complete, computer forensic investigator must keep an accurate record of all the activity related to an investigation, including all methods used for testing system, functionality and retrieving, copying, storing data, as well as all action taken to acquire, examine and assess the evidence. This activity ensures the integrity of data that has been preserved, which has to be proved in the court of law. An investigation failing to accurately document all the proceeding would be compromising the validity of evidence. Then there is transportation. After seizure of the evidence, transport the computer to a safe location. Treat gently and carefully since such digital evidence are very volatile and can be easily damaged or destroyed. Therefore, extra care should be taken in handling the computer and the electronic evidence during the transportation. Anti-static containers should be used. Remember, before transporting the seized computer, make a complete backup of the systems. Heat, which is greatest enemy of the computer and the media. So, do not keep or transport in excessive heat or in direct sunlight. caution should be taken regarding the magnetic field. As you know, information is stored on the media using a precise magnetic field, similar to a tape recorder. So, exposing the magnetic field to the slight magnetic field would damage the media. So, the magnetic field generated around the electric motor, speakers, refrigerator, magnets, or magnetic field generated by your car radio transmitter may ruin the evidence. So, this parameter should also be taken care of during transportation and during the storage process. Then, exposed wire or the circuit board can be spoiled by moisture, can be spoiled from the oil being released from your body. So, it should also be taken care of. Another caution is that the plastic bed produces a tremendous amount of static electricity, which can cause permanent damage to the computer equipment. So, should not packed in plastic envelopes. The chain of custody is the relevant as in other type of the crimes. The term chain of custody refers to the process of maintaining and documenting the handling of the evidence. It involves keeping a detailed log showing who collected, handled, transferred, or analyzed the evidence during an investigation process. Law enforcement agencies usually come under the scanner for any mishandling or manipulation with evidence. So, always keep a log of handling the evidence. Be sure to properly document the time, date, and the circumstances surrounding the actual seizure of the computer. Every effort must be made to show that no one could have made changes to the information contained on the seized computer system and digital media. The integrity of that evidence should be maintained. Otherwise, if any question raises regarding the authenticity of the evidence, it is very hard to defend during the trial. Our last concern is storage of the seized evidence. Due to the complexity of the cases, the trial can extend for years, so the related evidence needs to be preserved for years. Keep all the evidence related with the particular case at one place because even a single missing cable can pose great difficulty in reassembling the system. Use wooden shelves for storage and in the dust-free environment, away from the moisture and heat. Each small evidence covered in the envelope or boxes should have proper label. So dear students, we stop here. We learned about some basic concepts of collection of digital evidences, which is basic pillar of investigation. If evidences are collected properly, proper chain of custody is maintained, the prosecution can be very easy. Using a little common sense and basic knowledge of possible danger, complex cases can be solved. Person conducting an investigation should be trained regularly because every new day, new crimes are coming and posing the challenge for investigator to evaluate the evidence, and the potential evidence are not properly collected, which obviously changes the inference. So, if you are opting to be a computer expert, keep yourself updated with the new technology and the emerging trends. Take care, goodbye, see you in the next module.